Everybody, QStache here. It's Monday, October 13th. Going over the two trades that I took today. We took one L and one W. Overall, we made 110 points on the day. So yeah, let's get into it. So I start every morning off the same way. I start on the 4-hour time frame, and I kind of look to see what we're looking at on the higher time frames, just trying to shape my bias or my draws on liquidity. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, first and foremost, obviously Friday we had the massive dump off. We had Trump tweeting out about China, and then yesterday he retweeted about China that everything was going to be fine, and it looked like price started to jump back up after that point. There was a massive opening gap in the weekly open, so we're seeing some bullish activity. Additionally, looking at the 4-hour, we are completely delivering from sell side. As you see, we swept out this sell side here, this sell side, this sell side, and then over on ES here, we even swept out additional sell side here, creating a nice SMT from here to here. So we're getting a bullish SMT right from the get-go before market even opens. Going into the day, the next thing I like to do after I kind of get my overall bias is I like to mark out all my imbalances, so all my fair value gaps on the 4-hour, 1-hour, 15-minute, and 5-minute. So I have an indicator that I built. It's just a fair value gap indicator. Whatever time frame you're on, it'll draw out all the fair value gaps at that time frame until the body of a candle on the same time frame completely closes through it. Sorry if you hear any chickens and stuff. I'm outside right now in the backyard because my wife's working in the kitchen. So yeah, so I use this indicator real quickly to draw out all my imbalances from the 4-hour down to the 5-minute. Makes it super fast and easy to get them on the charts. And then I just go ahead and turn that off, right? So I'll unlock my drawings on the day. Let's get to the 15-minute chart here. Turn on the kill zones so we can see what we're looking at. Actually, I'll turn off my drawings real fast, make this a little bit more clean. As you can see here, overnight sessions, Asia and London lows were both swept out this morning before the market opened, leaving only London highs as the next available draw on liquidity after we got those sweeps. So with the SMTs, with as you saw on the 4-hour, as well as all the sell side sweeps that we did on the 4-hour, I was overall leaning bullish, wanting to target London highs on the morning. Go ahead and turn that off. So first trade we got into, let's get down to the 3-minute chart here. It was actually a really bad trade. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I really wasn't, but yeah, this is why we do these recaps so we can kind of learn from it. So trading through, so price took out the buy side liquidity, and then it recovered up and left some bearish gaps on the way down. As you see, we had this 3-minute inversion here. This was the highest time frame inversion with an overlapping order block here. So I like to trade what I'm calling the line model. It's essentially an inverse fair value gap. However, it must have an overlapping order block with it. Through backtesting, I've seen that has a lot higher success rate, and it avoids fake outs when price trades up, and then it does a resweep down of liquidity where a lot of inverse traders get stopped out. I like to wait for the order block to overlap with the inversion on the fair value gap. One thing I forgot about my own model is the liquidity sweep. I didn't have a liquidity sweep on this entry. We just traded down. We left sell side liquidity below, and there was no reason for me to enter this trade. I'm not really sure what I was thinking. It was about, it was 7:36 in the morning my time. I was still laying in bed trying to get the kids ready for school. But as soon as we flipped it here, I took an entry. I set my stop loss. I think I went down to the 1-minute chart here to find a valid or a more valid stop loss. So kind of below this low right here, the short-term low. And as you see, price came up and it immediately came back down. Now the funny thing about this trade is, actually, let me turn off the replay mode so you can see. It should show my executions here. Yeah, so go ahead and turn on the executions real fast. Oh, darn. I have to edit this out. I'm gonna have to fast forward. Oh, there we go. Cool. Got me in. Sweet. All right. So I'll go ahead and turn on my executions here. Trading. Boom. Apply all. Okay. There we go. All right. So you see, I got in here after the inverse. It looks like I waited a little bit longer too. I'm not really sure. I must have been completely distracted. Anyways, we got in here, set the stop loss, and I realized I was on micros. I thought I was on minis, but I was on micros. I was in for only one micro contract. And I was really confused why price was going up so slowly. So I rebought in here for an additional 9 micros to bring me up to a full-size mini. And legitimately, as soon as I did that, as you see, price just completely tanked down, hit my stop loss on that very next 1-minute candle, and I was out of the trade. I lost about $700 on that trade. Was not stoked. It was a sloppy entry. It was a rushed re-entry with the 9 more contracts. Overall, sloppy move, but here we are. And one thing to caveat on this is with all the stuff that happened on Friday, I was not trading my funded accounts today. This trade here is on a brand new take profit trader eval. I did not touch my fundeds. I wasn't, entirely confident in what price was going to be doing all day, so I just kept those safe. All right, so price traded back down, and now this was the absolute banger of a play that we had this morning. So this hit all my rules here. Let me go ahead and reset ES here so you can kind of get a better visual. All right, so this is a 4-hour bullish imbalance here. So now trading my actual model, I like to see a sweep of liquidity. I like to see it tap into a higher time frame imbalance. And then we target, the obvious draw on liquidity, which for me was London highs up here. All right, so price came down and we swept out this minor sell side liquidity on both ES and NASDAQ. We traded down into this 4-hour bullish imbalance. And as you can see here, we had a couple SMTs going in our favor to the bull side. So we had this low here. That NASDAQ did not take out, but ES did right here. Then we had some internal smaller SMTs. You see ES is making lower lows while NASDAQ was making higher lows. So we had internal and external SMTs. And we had a nice little breaker model form as well on ES with a mitigation model on NASDAQ. So this right here, this was a low, a high, a low, it didn't take out the low, and then we kept going higher. So this made a mitigation block here, while on ES we had a low, a high, a lower low, higher high. This formed a nice breaker model, or breaker model. Yeah, exactly. So for me, I'm a big unicorn model trader. The breaker model is a staple. The breaker model and the mitigation blocks is a staple in the unicorn model. So once I saw that form on ES, it created the SMTs on the internal side. I was very confident that we were going to be trending upward. Sorry about that. Yeah, so then we had the 1 minute gap here, and we inversed it on the 1 minute time frame, and I just took my entry right away off that. With the breaker model and the mitigation block forming, the internal, external SMTs, the sweep of the sell side liquidity, I was very confident, not waiting for any extra confluence. At that point, I was just going to hop into the trade there on the inversion. We set our break-even point to this short-term high at this swing point, and we hit it relatively quickly, about 3-4 minutes later. And then from that point on, we just let price do its thing. We followed our stop loss up a little bit at a time. We brought up to the break-even when we formed this new shelf. As we got up there, hey, sorry, dogs are getting after it. Yeah, and that was it, guys. It was a very clean entry, 110 points. It was a 1 to 5 RR. The one thing we did do is we did set an alert on ES, I believe right about here, to when price took out the objective on ES. And at that point, I started trailing my stop loss much more aggressively all the way up. But we took 110.75 points, so full TP. And then as you zoom out here, you can see the draw on liquidity was spot on eventually. Price did take out London highs. So, yeah. Great day today. End of the day up $1,487. So with the 50% consistency rule on Take Profit Trader, I wanted to stay below that. That is exactly why I only targeted 111 points, was so it would keep me below the 1,500 total balance. So day one on the eval, halfway there, and yeah, should keep that going for the rest of the week. I'm going to try to do these trade recaps more often so you guys can kind of get the full picture of what I'm looking for when I'm taking my entries. Again, I do most of these live on my stream daily in my Discord. So yeah, if you want to ever hop in and say what's up, feel free. But until then, stay blessed, keep it green, and cheers.